Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I have something truly extraordinary to share with you. We often hear about the resilience of the human spirit, but nothing quite captures it like the incredible survival stories we're about to dive into. These are tales of individuals who faced unimaginable odds, stared death in the face, and somehow, against all expectations, lived to tell their stories. From harrowing natural disasters to life-threatening accidents, these accounts will leave you in awe of the sheer willpower and determination that can emerge in the most dire of circumstances. So, sit back, get comfortable, and prepare to be amazed by these unbelievable survival stories that defy death against all odds. Let's get started. From childhood, we're captivated by survival stories. These tales ignite our potential for resilience. Join me as we explore unbelievable survival stories. Defying death against all odds. Discover the awe-inspiring power of the human will to live. Imagine being stranded in the wilderness or surviving a plane crash. These are real stories of human resilience. Get ready to be inspired by tales of ingenuity and determination. Join me on this exploration of unbelievable survival stories. Our first story takes us into the Alaskan wilderness. A young man, lost and unprepared, fights for survival. He forages for food and builds a shelter. He clings to hope, determined to find his way back. The Alaskan wilderness is unforgiving. The young man faces hypothermia and starvation, yet his spirit remains unbroken. He pushes beyond his limits, driven by the will to live. Just when hope dwindles, he finds a stream. He follows it to a group of fishermen. They help him contact park rangers. He survives, a testament to human resilience. Imagine a plane plummeting from the sky. This was the reality for passengers over the Andes. The survivors face a surreal and terrifying landscape. Their fight for survival is just beginning. Stranded on a snow-covered mountainside, survivors face bleak odds. A young woman emerges as a leader. They cling to hope and each other. Their bond becomes their strength. A young mother, her leg pinned, cradles her newborn. She draws strength from her child. The survivors rally around her. They are eventually rescued, a testament to human spirit. A lone sailor, adrift after a storm, faces the vast ocean. He clings to life, driven by hope. He fights for every breath, every sunrise. His story is a testament to the indomitable human spirit. The ocean, once a source of joy and adventure, became his adversary, testing his limits with each passing hour. The relentless sun beat down on his exposed skin, blistering and burning. The salt water, caking his wounds, stung with a fiery intensity. He battled bouts of nausea and dizziness, his body weakened by dehydration and hunger. Yet he refused to succumb to despair. He rationed his meager supplies, a few energy bars and a small emergency kit salvaged from the wreckage, stretching them out as far as they could go. He collected rainwater in a makeshift container fashioned from a plastic bag, savoring each precious drop. He occupied his mind with memories, stories, songs, anything to distract from the gnawing hunger and the ever-present temptation to give up. He found solace in the rhythm of the sea, the rise and fall of his makeshift raft, the cries of the gulls that circled overhead. He watched the constellations shift in the night sky, marveling at the vastness of the universe and his own improbable existence within it. He drew strength from the creatures of the sea, the dolphins that swam alongside his raft, their sleek bodies a symbol of resilience. The flying fish that leaped from the waves, their brief flights a testament to the possibility of escape. The ocean, in its own way, became his teacher, forcing him to confront his own mortality, to strip away the veneer of civilization and confront the raw, primal instincts that lay beneath. He learned to appreciate the simplest of things: the warmth of the sun on his skin, the coolness of the night air, the taste of fresh rainwater on his parched tongue. He discovered a reservoir of inner strength he never knew he possessed, a tenacity of spirit that surprised even him. Section 3. A glimmer on the horizon. Just when his body had reached its limit, when hope threatened to flicker and die, a change occurred in the monotonous rhythm of the sea. The endless blue horizon which had mocked his hopes for so long was broken by a faint smudge, a subtle shift in color that sent a jolt of adrenaline through his weary body. Could it be? Was it his imagination playing tricks on his exhausted mind? Or was that a distant sail? He scrambled to his knees, his heart pounding in his chest, his eyes straining to make out the distant shape. As the sun climbed higher, casting its golden light across the water, the smudge grew larger, resolving itself into the unmistakable silhouette of a ship. A surge of hope, so powerful it brought tears to his eyes, coursed through him. He was going to live. He waved his arms, his voice hoarse from disuse, shouting with a strength he didn't know he possessed. The ship, a cargo vessel on a routine route, had spotted his tiny speck on the vast canvas of the ocean, a testament to the vigilance of those who sail the seas. As they pulled him aboard, his body ravaged by the elements, his mind still struggling to comprehend his rescue, he felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He had stared death in the face and emerged victorious, a testament to the tenacity of the human spirit, the will to live that burns brightest in the darkest of times. He had survived the relentless sea, not through brute force, but through sheer determination, a refusal to surrender to despair. And in the process, he had discovered a depth of strength and resilience he never knew he possessed. A newfound appreciation for the preciousness of life and the extraordinary lengths we will go to for another dawn. Section 1. The City That Never Sleeps. The heart of a bustling metropolis, a symphony of human activity, can transform in the blink of an eye into a scene of chaos and despair. This is the story of survival in the concrete jungle, where the very structures we build for security can become treacherous traps. Imagine the ground beneath your feet, once solid and unyielding, convulsing with the raw power of an earthquake. The familiar cityscape, a testament to human ingenuity, crumbling around you like a child's discarded toy. In the heart of a city that never sleeps, a young woman found herself living through this nightmare. She had always taken comfort in the predictability of her urban existence, the reassuring rhythm of traffic, the comforting glow of city lights against the night sky. But on this day, the illusion of control shattered, replaced by the raw power of nature unleashed. The initial tremor, a subtle vibration that rippled through the pavement, was easy to dismiss. But then came the deafening roar, a sound that seemed to rise from the very bowels of the earth, followed by a violent lurch that sent her sprawling to the ground. Disoriented and struggling to regain her footing, she watched in horror as buildings swayed precariously, their once imposing facades shedding bricks and mortar like a snake shedding its skin. Panic erupted around her, a wave of human fear, as contagious as any virus. People ran through the streets, their faces etched with terror, their screams swallowed by the cacophony of collapsing structures and the grinding of metal against concrete. The air grew thick with dust, obscuring the sun and casting an eerie pall over the once familiar cityscape. In that moment, the young woman knew that survival would depend on her ability to stay calm, to think clearly, to navigate the chaos that swirled around her. As the aftershocks rippled through the shattered cityscape, the young woman found herself trapped amidst the ruins of a collapsed building. The once familiar coffee shop where she had met friends just hours earlier was now a tomb of twisted metal and shattered glass. Dust filled her lungs, making each breath a struggle. Darkness pressed in around her, broken only by the faintest glimmer of light filtering through a gap in the rubble. Fear, cold and paralyzing, threatened to consume her. She thought of her family, her friends, their faces flashing before her eyes, their voices echoing in the recesses of her mind. She had to escape. She had to survive. But how? Summoning a strength she didn't know she possessed, she began to assess her situation. Her leg was pinned beneath a fallen beam, the pain excruciating, but she could move her arms, and her senses, heightened by adrenaline, told her that she was not alone. She could hear faint cries for help muffled by the debris, a reminder that somewhere in the darkness others were trapped, their fates intertwined with her own. Hope, fragile yet persistent, flickered within her. She remembered reading about earthquake survival, the importance of staying calm, conserving energy, making your presence known to rescuers. She started to clear away the rubble around her hands raw and bleeding, her movements hampered by the pain in her leg. With each stone she removed, with each shard of glass she pushed aside, she clung to the belief that she was one step closer to freedom, one step closer to seeing the light of day again. And as she worked, her voice, at first a whimper, grew stronger, her cries for help a testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within us all, the will to live that burns brightest in the face of death. Time lost all meaning as she toiled in the darkness, her only companions the sounds of her own labored breathing and the faint cries of other survivors. She thought of the city above, the rescuers who would be battling their way through the debris, their efforts fueled by hope and the knowledge that every passing moment could mean the difference between life and death. Just when her strength began to fail, when the darkness threatened to engulf her completely, a new sound reached her ears. A rhythmic pounding, faint at first, then growing steadily louder. Someone was searching for her. Hope surged through her, renewing her energy, fueling her determination. "I'm here! I'm alive!" she screamed, her voice hoarse but filled with a desperate urgency. The pounding stopped, replaced by a voice muffled but unmistakable. "We hear you! We're here to help!" A pair of hands, strong and calloused, reached through the gap in the rubble, their grip firm and reassuring. A beam of light pierced the darkness, momentarily blinding her, and then she saw him. A rescue worker, his face grimed with dust and sweat, his eyes filled with a mixture of determination and compassion. They worked carefully, methodically, using hydraulic jacks and their bare hands to remove the debris that imprisoned her. The pain was excruciating, but she gritted her teeth and bore it, her gaze fixed on the face of the rescue worker, his presence a beacon of hope in the darkness. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, she was free. They pulled her from the rubble, her body battered and bruised, her spirit unbroken. As they carried her away from the wreckage, she looked back at the pile of debris that had so nearly become her tomb and offered a silent prayer of gratitude for the rescuers who had risked their lives to save hers, for the kindness of strangers, and for the enduring strength of the human spirit that had allowed her to survive the unimaginable. As we've journeyed through these harrowing tales of survival, from the icy grip of the Alaskan wilderness to the heart of a city shaken to its core, certain common threads emerge from the wreckage. Each story, unique in its circumstances and challenges, speaks to the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit, the will to live that burns brightest when confronted with the darkest of odds. Whether battling the unforgiving forces of nature or the unexpected chaos of human-made disasters, these survivors shared a remarkable ability to adapt, to think clearly under unimaginable pressure, and to draw upon reserves of strength they never knew they possessed. They remind us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it, the decision to act, to persevere, to never give up hope even when all seems lost. Resourcefulness becomes the lifeline in these stories. The young man lost in the Alaskan wilderness, drawing upon his knowledge of edible plants. The plane crash survivors in the Andes, sharing their meager rations and working together to overcome the brutal cold. The lone sailor, collecting rainwater and finding solace in the rhythm of the sea. The young woman trapped beneath the rubble, using her voice as a beacon to guide rescuers to her aid. each act a testament to the power of human ingenuity, the ability to find solutions and create opportunities in the face of overwhelming adversity. But perhaps the most powerful thread that connects these stories is the importance of hope. In the darkest of moments, when all seemed lost, these survivors clung to the belief that somehow, some way, they would persevere. They drew strength from the love of family and friends, the knowledge that someone, somewhere, was waiting for their return. Hope, however fragile, became their guiding star, leading them through the darkness towards the promise of a new dawn. These stories, while awe-inspiring, are not merely tales of extraordinary individuals accomplishing the impossible. They are reflections of the potential that lies dormant within us all. Each survivor, thrust into extraordinary circumstances, discovered within themselves a wellspring of strength, resilience, and resourcefulness they never knew existed. These tales challenge our perceptions of human limitation, reminding us that what we believe to be our breaking point is often just the beginning of a new chapter of strength and determination. They urge us to confront our own fears, to test our limits, and to never underestimate the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. The world is filled with challenges, both foreseen and unexpected. We may never face the extremes of these survival stories, but we will undoubtedly encounter our own personal storms, moments when life tests our resolve and forces us to dig deep within ourselves to find the strength to carry on. Let these stories serve as a reminder that within each of us lies the potential for extraordinary resilience. We all have the capacity to face our fears, to overcome obstacles, to emerge from the darkness stronger than we ever thought possible. The human spirit, like the candle flame that refuses to be extinguished by the wind, possesses an inherent strength and tenacity that can never be truly extinguished. May these stories inspire you to embrace your own inner strength, to face the unknown with courage and determination, and to never, ever give up hope. For within each of us lies the potential to defy the odds and create our own incredible survival story. Wow, what an incredible journey we've been on together. These survival stories truly remind us of the incredible strength and resilience of the human spirit. I hope they've inspired you as much as they've inspired me. Before we wrap up, I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for joining me on this exploration of human endurance. Your support means the world to me and keeps this channel going strong. If you enjoyed this video and found these stories as fascinating as I did, please don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel and lets me know you want to see more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these survival stories, or if you know of any other incredible tales of human perseverance. Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. Remember, your engagement helps our community grow and allows us to dive into even more amazing topics. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, the human spirit is capable of truly extraordinary things. See you in the next video.